Hello.
Hey there. So you want to have a discussion?
Adam never has discussions with me when I ask him to. So I ask him, like, hey, Adam, let's make a video. And he'll always be like, no, I'm too tired. And then he'll be like, oh, we never make videos together.
It's funny how guys see it one way and girls see it a different way. You know, we're all entitled to our own opinions, and that's what makes this world a beautiful place.
I'm pretty sure that's how it happens, though. It's like, hey, let's do this. Let's make a video. And you're like, no. And then you complain that we don't have any videos. So now we're making videos. Hey.
Married life, huh?
This is married life.
So, what should our first communication discussion be of?
I think that we should talk about how women are sensitive.
Okay, I would say in some cases men are equally as sensitive depending on the matter.
Yeah, and I think it's really important in communication in marriages of how we talk to each other, because for me, like, I get like very sensitive about things
Real quick. You know, depending on what you're dealing with or what I'm dealing with and the way that the statement is portrayed or conveyed, you know.
And also depending on what time of the month it is. Now, I will never say, oh, this is because I'm on my monthly time, right? However, it does affect my sensitivity level.
I mean, doesn't it affect every female's sensitivity level? I don't really know a whole lot about that.
Well, you wouldn't, because you're a guy. But yes, I think that it probably does affect women. I don't know. How about what, ladies? Give us your feedback. Does that time of the month, is it like, you know, do you guys have to prepare in your relationship for a monthly cycle? Like, are you guys like, okay, we know that it's about to come in a week, so husbands, are you guys like, okay, let me make sure that I am on top of my things that I need to do? Like, do you even think about it? Like,
I do.
Do you know?
I think about it. Definitely got to get out my bulletproof vest and my helmet. No, I'm just teasing. But I don't know. I mean, your sensitivity changes and varies with the month. You know, it's probably how I also respond to it too, because sometimes us guys get into a temporary mindset, like, oh, she's on that stuff again, you know, like on a whole different level. She's on that BS again, and we're not really too open-minded or caring or sensitive to the matter, because at the end of the day, all of us are stuck in our own feelings, you know. So sometimes when we're in our own feelings, it's hard enough to think about the other party's feelings, you know, because sometimes I'd be getting yelled at. I'd be like, I don't even understand.
Poor Adam.
It's not necessarily poor Adam. I mean, Adam needs to develop, you know, ways to properly identify when stuff like that's coming. It's just sometimes, like, I just get hit from left field. Like, really? Like, I don't even know. I'm so overwhelmed with all the different fun times that I can't really focus it down to one at this exact moment. You know, a lot of it's like, well, you said this. Well, that's not what I meant, but that's what I heard, or at least that's my perception on it. Like,
Or those were the words that came out of your mouth?
those were the words that came in my head. You know, tread lightly.
Oh my goodness. But the most important thing whenever we are going through stuff,
Menopause, manopause, depending on if it's us guys or us girls, because, you know,
that time of the month, yes, the most important thing is being able to say, okay, let's stop, take a deep breath. This isn't, you know, whatever in the heat of the moment is, knowing that it's a temporary thing. Taking a time out is something that both of us have utilized, that tool.
Yeah, we probably could implement it a little bit more. I mean, who couldn't implement a temporary timeout? because sometimes you get so wrapped up, and like us, we're both on the alpha side of life, you know, we both are in like a leadership position. So like sometimes I just don't want to hear that mess, and sometimes you just don't want to hear that mess. So we have to like take 5, take 10. I think actually we learned that in counseling, in one of our many different things that we do to try to better ourselves as a couple. You know, just to take a few minutes. But sometimes I find myself more pissed off than when I started, because I'll be stewing. I'll be like, it'll be like, oh, you're gonna make me sit in this for 5 minutes. I can't deal with this. You know. So it's all about how you deal with it, I guess. I mean, nobody's perfect. Life isn't perfect, but it's how we choose to deal with the things and go through them together. I know I love you. I love all of y'all when you're frustrated. You know, Jamie frustrated, Adam frustrated. You know, it's a tangled web we weave. But you know, if you truly love somebody and care about somebody, it's getting to the point sometimes I'll laugh at you. I can't laugh out loud because I'll probably get smacked upside the noggin, but I'll be like, I can't believe this girl. She's on this. She's mad because I said the butterfly was yellow and it was orange, or whatever silly thing that we're not making sense of or that we're dealing with. But yeah, timeout's good, you know, as long as you don't return more frustrated.
Right.
I guess the timeout needs to be in a long duration to where you actually
They said 30 minutes.
30 minutes? I'm going to take a nap on you. I'm going to go to sleep, wake up. I wouldn't
Sometimes
even know
that's okay,
what was wrong.
though.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all right. Sometimes a nap, and this is one thing, Adam loves naps. He is.
Oh, yeah, Adam's taking a nap after this video's over.
His hashtag Nap Nation.
Hashtag Nap Nation.
That's Adam right there. Sometimes a nap really can't help, because sometimes you're just like tired and overwhelmed, or you just have too much emotion. But definitely, you know, learning how to choose your battles, I think, is something that I've learned. Like, okay, like I'll put it to the side. Like if I want to get mad about something, you know, because I have a huge entitlement thing. I think
that's a drug addict thing, though. I mean, I guess it's not outside of recovery as well, but the whole entitled, I mean, like the whole country, not knocking where we live, but like everybody's like so entitled. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. You ain't entitled to nothing.
So with my entitlement stuff, you know, or if I'm like gonna get mad about something, sometimes I'll have to say to myself, like, well, you know what, we can argue about that tomorrow, but today we're not gonna argue about it. I'm not gonna let this impede on our day today. You know, we've had an amazing honeymoon, so we'll let you in on a little bit of nitty gritty in our relationship. So we had an amazing honeymoon, but we did have like one little thing where we were like got frustrated with each other.
I can't remember, honey. What was that about?
I can't remember what it was about either, honestly. Are you being facetious, or
I'm
do you
not
really
being
remember?
facetious. I can't remember. You think I'm worried about yesterday?
Yeah,
because
I really don't remember. But at the time, it was like I was really upset about it. I was frustrated. I think I might have cried.
I remember. We'll talk about it after this camera's off.
But like seriously, you know what I mean? Like we had to like be like, okay, like we're not gonna let this, you know, ruin our honeymoon and our vacation. We're gonna just like, you know, stomp it, because a lot of things, I feel like a lot of fights like between us, especially like with me, like my thing is like, you know, I want to feel, you know, that my feelings are valid. I want to feel that I'm being heard. I want to feel that he cares, you know, if I'm upset, or he cares if something hurt my feelings, or he cares if I don't even know why I'm upset, but I am, and I have no idea why, you know what I mean? Or I'm crying and I have no idea why. But I want him to like, you know, to be understanding, and, you know, be like, okay, I understand that's what you're going through, and that's okay, and we'll deal with that, you know what I mean? Like, well, just
and that goes vice versa for me as well, you know what I mean? Like, I'm experiencing a mental health issue. I'm having bad spirit. The devil's trying to get a hold of me. I had a family issue. Somebody wrote me a horrible letter for a honeymoon, and I'm like in my feelings thinking terrible. Like, you know, these people don't even know what's going on, so you're going to run gums. And so, you know, to be open and understanding is, I think, important for everybody. But what do we do? What's something that couples should do when they're both struggling? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're these are just examples, but you're dealing with hormones or emotions because it's that window of the time, and I'm dealing with mental health because people that share the same DNA makeup as me want to run their gums when they have absolutely no clue of my success levels currently because they don't have a conversation with me.
Right.
So I'm dealing with people judging a book by its cover, which I try not to do because I used to be a homeless drug addict living in the bushes. So like, my heart goes out to the homeless, and then you're dealing with something you're dealing with. How do couples get through things when they're both dealing with something?
Absolutely. I feel like, they say this about children. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I truly believe that it's the same thing in a marriage. I believe that there has to be people, like safe people, that you can go to and talk to. And definitely it's so important not to tell your stuff to lots of people, especially like details within your marriage. You know what I mean? Because, you tell 10 people and all of a sudden like the whole world knows.
Right, but I don't understand. Can you elaborate just a little bit? Like, don't tell, like, so like for me in my motivational speaking and my public speaking and my entrepreneurship, if you want to kill a big dream, you tell it to a small-minded individual.
Right.
But what you're saying is like, don't tell 5 people that whatever Adam snores at night. Like, what do you mean?
Right, like if you're telling like a whole bunch of people like about intimate things going on in our marriage,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we get in a fight and you like say something and it's out of character, right? Because we lose our tempers, right?
Real
we
quick.
Say things, right?
Real
and you
quick.
say something to me that's like out of your character, and I go tell 10 people, oh, Adam told me that I blah blah blah, you know what I mean? He called me this or he said this about me, you know what I mean? Which he's never said anything, called me out my name or anything, but like say, if that did happen and I were to like, because he lost his temper or something, and I went and told 10 people, then all of a sudden 10 people are going to tell 10 more people, you know what I mean? And everybody's going to look
everybody
at.
Knows what flavor the Kool-Aid is.
It's going to be like, Adam, he talks to his wife like that, you know what I'm saying? And of course, it's like the telephone game, right? The more as that person tells that person tells that person, all of a sudden, we're beating each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's important to have, and this is one of our pastoral counselors told us, to have 1 or 2 like safe people that you can share the nitty gritty intimate details of your relationship and of your conversations, and that's it.
But I got trust issues, so who do I tell? Us guys got trust issues. Like, see, for example, like, this is a perfect example of what you were just saying. I had a buddy where I just came from in the southern Florida area, and he went and told a bunch of people a bunch of stuff, and then he ended up getting that stuff used against him. Then it ended up dissolving a marriage or an engagement or something like that. So I mean, like, it's tough for me as a man to be like, hey, bro, can you listen to me because my wife is menstruating, or my wife said that I can't cook, or whatever, you know what I mean? She's complaining because I won't pick up my dirty underwears off the floor, whatever.
He drops them right next to the hamper.
And they stay there. Yes, that's where they're supposed to stay, aren't they?
Yes, so having trust issues and having to find like that one safe person, it can be challenging, but you know what I mean? I feel like it's, you start with a little thing, you don't have to tell all the details, maybe tell like a more vague story without so many details. But I mean, we're not the kind of people that sit out here and talk about how our life is perfect, right? We have no problem talking about if we're going through some shit, right? You know what I mean? We have no problem with that. So I mean,
we're perfectly imperfect,
yes,
and we're not scared to say that. A lot of people are out here saying how great things is and it's never anything wrong. It's nah. I mean, if you think that's real, you're entitled to your own beliefs, but if you're looking at somebody through the lens of social or the lens of content creation, and it's like everything's great when the lights and cameras on,
right?
It's not that great when the lights or cameras on. We've argued. I mean, what were we doing? Was it South Africa, or it was United Kingdom or
somewhere
something?
United Kingdom. We were in like the biggest argument. Like,
it's T-minus 3 minutes going
3
live.
3 minutes
in the
before we're about
Kingdom.
to go live. Yeah, in the UK, and we're freaking out and screaming at each other, and then
I'm
we're
getting all mad. I said, forget it. We'll just cancel it.
we're gonna cancel the live.
Yeah.
We're not even doing it.
She's
And
like,
I'm just like, it was crazy, and I had to like pull myself together. And I remember we were sitting in that live, and the lady was like, "Oh, Jamie, you're just smiling so big," and I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna stab him
Like,
when we get off the camera. Though.
Just wait
Bet.
till we're done.
Bet.
Just wait till we're done.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, the moral of the story is nobody's perfect.
Right.
To be successful in any relationship, whether that be business venture, couple with your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever, you know, it's huge to work on yourself. It's huge to work on your relationship, both separately and individually. You know, I feel that I've put on major growth since I got here. I'm not perfect.
Absolutely.
I'm still dealing with stuff. People still get under my skin. I come from a background to where we handle people and situations and circumstances much differently, and that just leads me to getting in trouble, and I don't want to do that no more. So, you know, you just have to somewhere between tread lightly, proceed with caution, remain hopeful and faithful and full of grace. You know, I've had to give a lot of things to God, and that's something I'm not really too used to doing. You know, first they talked about surrender, like get down on your knees and give it to God. I'm like, what?
Yes.
We used to have people do things like that when they were surrendering all their assets to us by way of my bad decision making, and now you want me to just like give it to God? That was so weird for me, you know. But now I have to. Like, now it's part of my recovery, part of my sobriety. Be like, all right, God, she's acting a fool.
Yeah.
She's yours for now. I ain't dealing with this. I'm taking a nap.
And that's so true, because that's what I do. My thing is I go running. He takes a nap and I go running. So I will go outside and I will go running, and I will run and I will literally like cry while I'm running and just like, I feel like so frustrated.
You've
know
had a couple
what I mean?
videos on TikTok
Yeah,
like that, I think.
a couple videos like crying, you know, while I'm running. Those were crying about gratitude, not crying because I was angry. But those happen too. And it's just whatever it is to be able to get to that place where you can get that out of the way, get yourself out of the way, to have that intimate conversation with God, to be able to go to God and say like, this is what's going on right now. I need you. I can't do it. Just like in our steps, right? Like, you know, I am powerless over this situation, over this problem. I'm powerless over my husband. I'm powerless over the things that come out of his mouth sometimes. But, you know, I know that you, God, because you created him, that you can do something with this. And then I will, step 3, I will let you do it. I will let you fix it. So, you know, working steps on things like that is something that's really powerful too, for those of you who are familiar with steps. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything.
About time.
We will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening to our rant. I hope you got something out of our discussion.
Just remember, you're not perfect, and the person next to you isn't either, and we love you all.
That's right.